We have got 2 finals, like I said earlier in the show. Nottingham Forest away in the Premier League, followed by Real Betis. Out in Poland in the Conference League final. This race for the top 5, Newcastle on 66 points, Chelsea on 66 points, Villa on 66 points, City on 65 points with a game in hand, currently at the time of recording, and Nottingham Forest on 65 points. It is simple though, Jace. Win against Forest and Chelsea play Champions League football next season. But it's never quite as easy as that, is it? No,
you're absolutely right. It's in our own hands. I've got a horrible feeling that we draw with Forest.
Oh, don't say that.
I've got a horrible feeling we draw with Forest, and then you are relying on Manchester United to do us a favour.
But you're quite optimistic about Manchester United perhaps not being as bad as they have been this season because it's their last game.
I do feel the fact that the final would have been played against Spurs on the Wednesday, and I do feel that in front of their own crowd, because the season has been so bad, they will not want to put in a stinkfest, right? And sometimes a club has that aura about them where they are terrible at the moment. I don't think this is as easy as everyone says. I felt the game against Spurs was a gimme. It turned out to be that case. We didn't play particularly well against Man United. We managed to get over the line. Maybe it's me hanging on desperately to some sort of favour we can get from United. The fact that the final had already been played. I just think it's going to be a draw between us and Forest, and then you're relying on United to help us out.
The way that... I'm glad, Kweku, that going into this game, Forest have something to play for, because I think if they didn't, we would get a classic sit back, just going to soak up all the pressure, try and hit you on the counter. But surely there's going to be a time where Forest have to come at us at some point, which hopefully you think would benefit us in the way we play.
Yeah. I think we beat Forest. I think it's in our hands right now. And if you would have given me this at the beginning of the season, I probably would have taken it. We've just got to go away and beat Forest.
You say that, but it's not that easy.
It's not that easy. People think that Newcastle are out of this, by the way, and I know they're home against Everton. But, weird things happen on the last day of the season. And, Newcastle are on the same amount of points as us. We could potentially finish 3rd. And City, by the way, who everybody expects to win their last 2 games of the season, at the time of recording, haven't played Bournemouth yet. Bournemouth are a tricky customer. I know they've fallen off, but they've got European aspirations. And then City on the final day of the season, they've got Fulham away from home, which is no gimme either. We saw Fulham turn things around on the weekend to get a win against
they're still chasing.
They're still chasing as well.
Potential European football. So there's a lot. There's nothing in there other than Manchester United and Everton. Every other team has got something to try and fight for, and you're hoping that Man United will have a bit of pride to fight for. There's been lack of that, though, hasn't there, this season?
I think actually, what you say that, it's actually... I think regardless of what happens on Wednesday in the Europa League final, if Man United lose, I think Spurs are just Spurs, but if Man United lose, they're going to they have to end that game on a high. And if they win, they're taking that Europa League back to Old Trafford and want it to be like a massive party. So actually, you're sort of slowly convincing me that game isn't a done deal, but I don't know. I just don't think you can rely on Man United.
I don't think you can rely on Man United, but I do feel that there will be an element of last game in what's been the worst season in Premier League history for them, one of the worst seasons ever for the football club. I think that they want to sign off in front of their own crowds and put in some sort of fighting performance. That's what I'm hoping. I'm clinging. Kweku, clinging there.
I'm also clinging, but I think we'll win our game, so it doesn't matter. I'm looking at Newcastle. I'm telling you.
You're not sure Everton, but I think
Isak's out as well. Potentially, he didn't play on the weekend. Got a groin injury. I think we beat Forest, so it doesn't really matter. And it's circa 02-03 season where we played against Liverpool final game of the season. We had to win it against Champions League. We know what the job is right now. Obviously, it would have been nice to get a result against Newcastle last week, a couple of weeks ago. So it would be a better position right now. But I think we beat Forest and we qualify for the Champions League next season. It looks like a good season.
Imagine if we'd have just beaten Ipswich, home or away.
Oh, don't.
Just imagine if we'd have beaten one of the worst teams we've ever seen in the Premier League.
There's quite a few of those moments, though.
But that Ipswich game
Fulham at home.
Yeah,
I mean, 1-0 up.
In the 90th minute.
I mean, look, don't do that to yourself, guys. It's torture.
We need these players to get up for it, Jason. To be honest, as much as we're all happy about the result against United, in that game against Newcastle and against United, I need to see more. I need to see them actually fully get up for a game, which we need to win. I need to see everything positive about
disciplined
Chelsea.
As well, though.
Yeah.
Disciplined.
Yeah.
That's we cannot afford to go down to 10 men like we did against Newcastle the other day. But this is the first goal. If they get that first goal, Forest, I think that's going to be incredibly tough to turn that around. If we get the first goal, it puts them in a position they don't like. They would rather be a team that can have less possession and try and counter-attack. What they don't want to be in a position where they have to come out. That first goal cannot put a price on it.
No, you can't. And also, our second final, the Europa Conference League final against Real Betis. I mean, this is a competition that we've all said we're almost embarrassed to be in. And to be honest, we shouldn't have been in it. We should have been in the Europa League. Our league form last season, we were worthy of playing in the Europa League. But this is our only real test we'll have had in the Conference League this season.
Yeah.
And it's not even worth thinking about if we lose.
I just want to get it out of the way. I don't want to disrespect the competition because there's so many teams in there that want to win it. And if Betis win it, they'll be absolutely delighted. We saw what they did for West Ham a few years ago. But for Chelsea, there is no upside, right? If we do win it, no one's going to give us plaudits and say, well done for winning the trophy. They're like, your squad costs 1.6 billion. If we don't win it, stay off social media because we're going to get absolutely rinsed. We have to win it. Thursday night's been a slog. It's been an absolute slog this season. Just had to get through it. It's like cold porridge. Just eating it and just having to try and get through it. We'll beat Betis. I don't know if we'll make it easy for ourselves, though.
Sunday's bigger for me.
Way bigger.
Sunday away at Forest is bigger than the final.
Yeah, this is like asking fans, would you rather... I mean, I think for Chelsea it's different because we've been there, we've won everything there is to win. Yep. But playing Champions League football next season, to me, and to you, obviously, is far more important than winning the Europa Conference League. Even though it's winning a trophy, and you can argue that you get that mentality of you know what it is now to win stuff, but it's a young team, but Champions League football is way more important. Sure. We get a choice, by the way.
I do that bizarre,
we get a choice. If we qualify for the league if we qualify for the Champions League through the league and we win the Conference League, we get the choice whether we want to play in the Europa League or the Champions League next season.
What is that? What is that about?
Can I just ask?
We have a choice.
Can I just ask? If we choose Europa League, where does it go down to?
Oh yeah, what happens? Is that like fifth spot just then scrapped? Or do Villa get it?
Who cares? Yeah. Who cares?
We choose in Europa League, yeah?
Yeah, come on.
So are we going to finish in the top 5, Jason? Are we going to win the Conference League?
I'll say this much. I think we draw against Forest, and I think we're relying on Man United.
Kweku?
We beat Forest, we beat Betis, we finish in the top 4.
Yep.
And we win the Conference League. Good season from Resco in this first year.
Oh, God, it's so nerve-wracking. Anyway, that is it for another episode of Inside Chelsea. We will be back after the Forest game and after the Conference League to hopefully talking about what a good season it has been for Enzo Maresca in his first season. Thank you very, very much for your company. Thank you to Jason.
Thanks, Liv.
Thank you to Kweku, as always. Oh, I'm nervous. I bet you are as well. But anyway, we'll see you next time. Up the Chelsea.
Up the Chelsea.